And welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings. I'm your host, Lawrence, a punk with toys. But you guys know that. And Payne already knows it. He's already called it out. Listen, I'm so unprepared for this show, just like last week. But this week's a little different because, well, I've been gone. And believe me, I was gone for 4 days and I didn't think too much about YouTube. I did a few little things, but I was on very little. We're going to get into my little journey from Jersey down to Baltimore, through the shit state of fucking Ohio. Anyway, how is everyone? Ben, 21 people already watching. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I got a show today because show's got a show. Anyway, let's just get into a lot of stuff. So how is everyone doing? I have had a very adventurous last 5 days or so. I had to go to Jersey for work, and I wanted to find some toy stores. Wasn't able to find any skate shops. I was hoping to find some skate shops. There should be a better way to find stores that you want, specialty stores. And there's just not. So, but I got to New Jersey, and as soon as I got into New Jersey, I made it to a place called Chubsy Wubsy. Now, they closed at 6 o'clock, so I was really stressing to get in there. And I got in about 6:40. I'm sorry, about 5:40. You can watch the video. I did a quick little video. I normally don't video inside the stores because I just feel weird doing it. But I got in there, spoke to the guy. Such a nice guy. I got to say that. So that right there, like, hey, that started it off, and it was like 10 minutes from where I was staying. So, yeah, but I'm going to get into all that in a second. I got to say quickly, there's only a few of you that were watching, and that was the Hella Dope guys and Mr. Wonderful. So over right now on Nerdzoic, he is doing his best of, and he's doing his list for the best of. And I just happened to come up, and instead of doing like the best YouTuber of the year, he's doing Rookie of the Year. And I did catch my name. Well, I heard Punk with Toys, not a Punk with Toys. So maybe there's another Punk with Toys. But listen, we have to stuff the ballot box because, hey, you know what? I'm a shill, and I ain't gonna lie, man. Just go watch it. You'll see who's on there. And you can kind of hear when my name gets called, and they're just don't want to say anything. But that's all right. It's all good. We're all here to have fun, right? I'm an army guy. Anyway, so this place is going kind of crazy right now. 28 people. I got a lot of stuff to go through that I picked up. So I kind of want to work that into my little Jersey tour. I don't have a slideshow. I have pictures. I really picked this topic so it would be easy because I knew I wouldn't have much time to do all this because I had to do running around today, grocery shopping, and all that other type of stuff. Get my kids, get my dog, who tore up my ex's furniture. I know you guys are laughing about it, but she was okay with it. But it just means I'm never going to hear the end of that one. And he tore the shit out of one side of the cushions. So it just, it really wasn't good. And when I looked at it, I was like, God damn it. Anyway, let's add to the chat really quick before it gets too busy. And I'm here for way too long. So Big Bacon was first in the house. We have a Graph is here. You know what? I forgot to put Hot Wheels on there till I saw that, which I still didn't put it on there. But Hot Wheels is great. You're right. It's iconic. Johnny Reno is here. Old Snake, Allison Troy, who just jumped over from one of her premieres, Down South 77. Danny is here right now. Thanos Captor, who is pushing the limits to see what he can get banned from on social media. Ray Paz is here. We have Payne's Toy Samples. And Action Figs. Newfie 4024. PNC is here. Another wonderful channel member. Being a Fine Figure. Payne's Toy Samples. Did I already say him? We got Matthew, the other moderator, the first moderator. So him and Ed are the moderators. What they say goes, but I don't really have too many issues, right? We have Eric Thurman here. Viper Scout is here. Oh, we have Cobra Commander. We haven't seen Cobra Long quite some time. Where's he been? Shark Eyes, who has donated plenty of memberships for you guys, and I hope some of you took advantage of it. I got to enjoy it, and we're going to do another member stream after the Black Friday giveaway. So Palpatine, who I do believe was the first channel member. We have Fatrid here. Dan71. Carol, nice to see you. I don't see your brother, but I did see your brother this weekend. So JLS Comics, we need to discuss when you're going to be able to come in on Thursday. You're one of the ones I want to have early on next year. So, all right. We got there. So anyway, back to the Nerdzoic thing. As I mentioned, I guess I'll probably be put on the ballot. We're going to stuff the ballot. It's okay to rig things. Everyone else rigs things, right? We can rig it, all right? We can be like Democrats. We can be like Republicans. No, that's not a free-for-all to talk politics. I bash them both because they're both a bunch of assholes. Anyway, so I want to get into... We'll start with my pickups and my trip around the eastern border. So I drive in. I was hoping to meet up with B's Battleground, but he was busy with work and stuff, so I wasn't able to meet up with him going through Pittsburgh. And let me tell you, Pittsburgh, driving down I-80 is actually pretty beautiful. I mean, it's all the trees, it's fall, so all the leaves are falling off. But man, I just assumed it'd be just flat. And it's not. It's a really beautiful state to drive through. It was an easy 8-hour drive. Get into Jersey. Like I said, it's getting dark. The roadways are messed up. You can't do U-turns there. What the fuck? How do you get anywhere if you can't do a U-turn, all right? Listen, people from Michigan know what a Michigan left is. It seems stupid. It is the greatest thing in the world. You turn right to turn left, and the flow of traffic constantly moves for the most part. But anyway, I make it a Chubsy Wubsy. Really nice guy. He stayed open for probably a half hour, chatting with me, let me video, film in there a little. Small store, but he utilizes the space. It's all modern. Toys were all the way to the ceiling, and in a good way. Like, you didn't have to worry about it. He just had things out, but he had stuff in the back that when I asked for my Plunder Long. So I had to give this Plunder Long. I'm sorry, the Plunder Strong. He didn't have any of the Plunder Long. So I talked to him. Very clean store, which means a lot to me. So anyway, I think he had just got the Plunder Strongs in either that day or the day before. JLS Comics says really quick here, you can do U-turns all you want as long as you don't get caught. No, they have the median. You can't get over to actually physically do one. That's what makes no sense. There's this giant median, at least where I was. And you could have easily put a big U-turn in, which would have kept the flow of traffic going. But there's no road for like miles. Anyway. So I was talking with the Plunder Strongs, and he mentioned to me that if you have the Plunderlings, they have magnets in their hands, and they can actually lift them up. So I am dying to get this thing open. I'm going to do my review probably tomorrow. I don't work the rest of the week, so look at this thing, man. This thing is awesome. It just seemed bigger than I thought it was. Got the big giant mouth, and this guy is just awesome. Sorry, you can see the light shines on it, but this thing looks so awesome. He had like 5 or 6 of them. I forget which ones. I wasn't going to buy all of them. They're $70. But you can see, which one he has. He's got the big cannon. This thing is just absolutely awesome, man. I'm going to move this here. So I got all kinds of stuff here. But I was so stoked with that, man. I didn't want to spend $70 right when I first got in. But like I said, if I find a store and it's a good store, listen, I'm going to say good things about it. And also I'm going to try and buy something from there. I was shooting for something like 30, but I was going to get it eventually. So say hi to Largo. How are you doing? Great to see you jumping in here. Wisconsin is the same as Michigan with U-turns. Anywhere not marked, not sure about. Yeah, well, Michigan's different because they have the medians and it's literally called the Michigan left. And what was funny is that when I was in there talking to Chubsy Wubsy because I just got it not in it, and I'm following the the GPS, but it's dark out. You don't know how their roadways are. And so when I'm talking to him, his brother just happens to be there. His wife works there, but his brother's there. And his brother is a truck driver. And he goes, "Oh yeah, the Michigan left." And Chubsy looked at me, he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, you turn right to turn left." And he just looked stumped, and he was like, "Yeah, it's actually really good. Like the traffic keeps flowing, but it is weird because I remember the first time I went there, the guy's like, okay, you turn right and then you're going to turn left." And he's like, "What? It doesn't make any sense." So anyway, I go do my training, or not my training. It was an award thing, and I was hoping if I would have won, I would have ended up in Dallas, which really would have been cool because I believe Matthew is pretty close to Dallas. Unfortunately, I came in third place, which was actually kind of shocking because I thought I was going to do a little bit better especially after I saw the person that won. No offense to him. I just thought he was, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get into work because I don't have to be there till next Monday. So we got done really early. And if I would have known that we were going to get done that early, I would have probably shot down to Baltimore, Maryland earlier. But all my stuff was still at the hotel. I had it for another day. Unfortunately, there was no pool at the hotel. So I got done and they had the worst pizza ever. Let me just tell you, man, I love pizza. They order this pizza and it's like big, not New York style, but it's this big, thick, round pizza. Or thin, round pizza, but it's huge. And we said no mushrooms. They ordered it with sausage, green peppers, red peppers, which I've never had red peppers, but whatever, and onion. I look at this and I'm like, "What is that?" And the guy's like, "Oh, that's sausage." There's hardly any sauce on this pizza. There's hardly any cheese. The sausage is like rolled out, so it's flat. I didn't even know what it was. Then there's green peppers, which is fine. Red peppers, never really had that on pizza, but it's a pepper. And then it had onions, loads of onions. But here's the thing. All the vegetables were uncooked. It was the nastiest fucking slice of pizza. Ed, you remember that pizza that we had at PowerCon, man? That pizza was like gourmet shit compared to this. It was so damn nasty. And I ate one piece. I'm like, oh. And then I finished and I was like, thank God we're almost done. So anyway, I got done. Went searching for another toy store and found another place called Zapp's Toys. Zapp's Comics. And again, a lot of comics. If I would have stayed the next day, they actually opened up early, had a huge sale, like you could see on their Instagram page. But so I went in there, pretty much the same stuff. There's a lot of Four Horsemen stuff because Four Horsemen I found out it's like 5 minutes away. If I would have known that, I would have reached out to my buddy Sarge and said, "Hey, see if you can get me a tour of it." Especially I would have known I was getting off that early on Friday. So we walked around there. You know, there wasn't too much modern that I need, but I did pick up, which I do believe is Leatherneck, going fishing here. Complete. Not a bad price. I really like their prices. They did something that I don't see a lot of companies do. And what that is they actually, I was looking at a lot of the modern stuff, the shit you see at like Target and stuff that isn't selling. They have it marked below the Target prices and well below what like a local store pays because they get stuck with it. And I thought it was absolutely awesome. Is that Bazooka? I was wondering. I always thought it was Leatherneck. It was way after my time, and I didn't really check it. So Largo, thank you. And that's all I can think of as first shipment. And then I want the little people my old Little People white and blue boat because he would go perfect with it. And then I picked up a nunchuck because I've never had a nunchuck. And even though he's not complete, I wanted him complete, but I should be getting a nunchuck eventually so I can do a review and I can do a comparison. So I picked these up. Listen, I'm going long because I really don't have much to talk about today. I'm not going to lie. Shark guys, listen, I don't want to hear about Australia. And Chicago is a joke. And New York is thin bullshit. All right? Detroit's still the best. Okay? Christopher Wolf says, I'm sadly a little disappointed that you're not wearing the shirt on the screenshot. Some that said comeback with 90s Winnipeg Jet. So what? Okay, so what that is actually. So what that is? That shirt is the Winnipeg. I'm sorry, it's Comeback Kid. It's a hardcore band from Canada in the Winnipeg Jets. I was trying to figure out what you were saying there. So, Clint says pizza quality has gone down over the past 30 years. You know, it really depends on where you go. I'm not going to lie about that. And Destro's Desk has joined. How you doing? All right. And I actually forgot to mention that you guys probably all saw the video. I did get this before I left, so I was able to pop out the Chun-Li video. A little disappointed because her face, you can't see it because of the light. Her face has some issues, and I haven't contacted them yet, but I probably will. I don't even really like that face, to be honest. All right, so next day I wake up, shoot on down to Baltimore so I can spend some time with Oz, and then Ziggy, who was also over at PowerCon, were there. So him and I hung out for about 4 hours or so. We hit Random Treasures. Now, Random Treasures had some really good prices also. So they're in Baltimore. They had a real nice mix of modern and vintage. I really didn't see too much that I wanted there. And then I was walking out. And I already seen it, but it was just kind of sitting there. And the little blueberry glow in the dark. And let me tell you, I haven't opened this thing yet, but I did leave it open and let the light just kind of expose. And when I turned the lights off, I thought only because the blueberry glows, right, on the box. It glows really nice. I didn't think the whole thing glowed because I have all these LED lights going on. But damn it, when you get this thing dark, this whole thing lights up. It is absolutely awesome. So $20 for this. Again, it was a nice store. It was, I want to say, run down. It was old fashioned, I guess you could say. But Oz picked up like 2 new Masters of the Universe Origins figures for like $26 because they had a thing. Anything over 30 days old, you were getting like 30% off. It was actually kind of crazy, to be honest. Okay, wait a minute. So, Gone Fishing Leatherneck has a boonie folded up with cyan grenades and a draft pants and brown shirt. Listen, dude, I don't know which one's which. I haven't had a chance to go look at it. So, all right. So, is this Leatherneck or is this Bazooka? Someone tell me. I need a definitive answer. I mean, I have the book downstairs, so I'll find it out. I'm really going with Largo said because I know he is big into the 118 stuff. And I have to say hi to Ken. First off, Eternity Eclipse, how are you doing? Toy Connections. Chun-Li, I will stick around till dinner. Why don't you stick around the whole time? I don't see why you're not watching this whole damn show as it is. They make earbuds now so you don't have to listen to your family. I thought you would have known this. Anyway, so I went down there. We hung out with Oz. He took me to a sub shop that he used to go to as a kid. We just shot the shit. You know, you find out a whole bunch of things and you chat. And the second time I met Oz, and it's something I'd like to do more often, man. Just take some little road trips, 4 or 5 day, just kind of road trip, map it out, find some toys, some people in the direction. Wade Howlett actually hit me up and I didn't see it. And he's like, hey, are you still in Jersey? He told me he actually designed Zap Comics logo. So unfortunately, I would have loved to have met up with someone else. And then, so on the way there, Payne hits me up and says, "Hey, Sergeant Reds has Ripper in. This is Thursday." He's like, "Hey, Sergeant Red has Ripper in. You better get it so you get your review done." And I'm like, "I'm not even in the fucking state." So I called John up, said, "Hey, can you hold it?" He was nice enough to hold it for me. Of course, it pops up on Amazon. It pops up on Target. Everyone can find it, but I had John hold it for me, and he sure enough did. So anyway, I'm driving home. Now this is Sunday. I'm driving home. And leave Pittsburgh. I get into Ohio. That's right. That shithole, shit stain of a state. Why can't we just wipe Ohio off the fucking planet? Make Puerto Rico a state, man. Just make that fucking state a fucking parking lot. Anyway, if you've ever been to Ohio, there's a turnpike. If you've ever been on turnpikes, you know there's these service stations. I get over the border. I'm on the phone with Tony's Figs. He gets pissed off when I say Tony Figs. Don't give a shit. I'm on the phone with Tony. I swear to God, I thought I blew my fucking tire, man. The thing just, it sounded like it blew. Then I heard it again. Pull over, nothing. Gauges aren't telling me anything. So, make it to the service station, fill up. Tony's texting me. He's like, "You okay? Everything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just take a piss and stuff." I drive home, 90, want to get the hell out of Ohio. Today I go to drive, and now my car is making this weird ass noise. So all the money that I may have banked from going out of town and what the company paid me is probably going to go to fixing my car because of that shit stay in Ohio. Anyway, Tony, there's Tony right there. There's Tony right there. He was on the phone with me, man. I'm like, holy shit. I thought I blew a tire, but the gauges never went on. If you blow a tire, that gauge usually comes on really quick, that your tire is just flattened. So anyway, car's kind of making some weird ass noise. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And you know my feelings on Ohio. You know really good because I texted you the moment I got here. So anyway, I make it to Sergeant Reds today. Pick up my Ripper. Again, video's up, so after this, make sure you go watch it. Got my Ripper. Again, you can find this anywhere right now. Or you can find it at Target. Just ask. The reason why they're not putting them on at Target, there's not a SKU for it yet. But if you ask, they'll pull them out. And then he tells me, John tells me, "Oh yeah, your neck is scene diorama also came in." Now, I canceled on BBTS because he said he could get it, and I'd rather give him the money. This thing is heavy as shit. I cannot wait to open it up. But good Lord, the thing is so damn heavy. So if you are interested, if you're in Michigan, shoot on over to Sergeant Reds. He ordered like 6 of them. He was like, "How many should I order?" I'm like, "I don't know, dude. I just want one." But they sell out everywhere they go. Oh, yes. Believe me, Aaron knows. Oh, yeah. Believe me, Aaron knows how much I hate Ohio. All right? He knows. So, I mean, they can move before we nuke Ohio. All right? They are more than welcome to move, relocate. Now, we know Ted doesn't leave his 10 square mile radius of where he's grown up at. I mean, he didn't know where 75 was. I-75. It literally drives from Michigan all the way down to Florida, and he didn't know where I-75 was. I'm like, all right. So anyway, those are my big pickups. And this is how you successfully waste 25 minutes of people's times. So I hope your Ripper vid is more complimentary than my buzzer was earlier today. What a piece of failed trash. I didn't have an issue with my buzzer, so I'm not sure. I think the Ripper was my least favorite of the Dreadnoughts, the 3 Dreadnoughts. The original, I really like this one. But I don't have an issue with I haven't watched your review yet. I saw you dropped it, but I like Buzzer. I didn't have an issue with him, so now I'm interested to see what it is what your issue is with him. So I don't know what's wrong with the car yet because I gotta take it in. Nothing feels wrong with my car. It makes this really low rumbling noise, not when I'm braking always, sometimes when I'm accelerating, but not always. But I drove with the windows down so I could hear it, and you can't hear it on the outside. You can hear it on the inside. I don't feel anything. The car drives fine, but I'm going to drop it off Friday morning, and hopefully it'll be done by Sunday. Not that I need it because I have a company car, but the company car is a 2-seater, and if I want to get both kids to school, then I need my car. Anyway, so let me see here. We got the random treasure, Chubsy Wubsy, Plunstrong, G.I. Joes. Oh, so I found this very interesting. Earlier today, Jeremy posted on one of the G.I. Joe websites that some people have reported that the his tank has started to ship. So I went over to my FedEx manager, went to hit it, see if anything has populated, and it populates that Mezco has created a shipping label for my roadblock. So I'm assuming if they created a shipping label, it should be ready to go. Yeah, I saw you guys are doing that. I didn't even realize that had shipped yet. I saw one picture of it, and I'm like, I really do like them. I'll never transform the other two. I'm just gonna wait till it goes on sale because, well, I have the original. I have my Thunder Machine. So I don't want to spend that much. We all know it's going to go on sale. We know it's going to get marked down. Hey, you guys say what you want. My daughter has my 2008 Dodge Avenger. I put 260,000 miles on it, and she is still driving that thing. So you can say what you want, but I'm going to tell you, every Dodge that I've had has run and run and run. So you guys can say what you want, man. Anyway, so yeah, should have roadblock coming, and it also sounds like they're going to start shipping those his tanks soon, which is awesome. I don't know how I'm going to do that review. I don't have enough space in my house to do a review of something that big. That's going to be a multi-parter, I believe. You know, reviewing the actual tank, comparing it to the original his tank, comparing it to the 3D his tank that so many people want to say are just as good as the HasLab. Just stop with that shit. And then you got all the figures. So, all right. The giveaway for this Friday. Just follow the video. Where did I put it? Right here. The giveaway for this figure, custom by Cages Customs, also known as Johnny Reno. He donated this. I'm also throwing in the 3D parts for the weapons rack and an ammo crate that my buddy printed up. So all that stuff. All you need to do is put your name that appears in the put your name in it as it appears as I see it, right? I'm going to move everything. Everything has to be in by 8 p.m. Friday because I'm still going to be adding names as I do it. I'm not doing it during the live stream. So if you ask me, I've done it in the past. I'm not doing it this time. But yeah. Also, if you're a channel member, you automatically get your name thrown in. All I ask is that you are in either Canada or the US, or you have somewhere that I can ship it here. So, but this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do this here. Probably do it for about an hour. I'm not going to do it right away at 9 o'clock. Let people scroll on in, but we're going to give this away. And then after that, we're going to do a members only stream. Probably rip on the person that actually won this, because you know it's going to be someone who's never participated in the chat before. And I think he's the only one that's ever participated, that's won something that's been participated. So, yeah, if it lands on you, I know. And I'll tell you, Payne, if you really don't want the figure, I'll tell you this. If you really don't want this figure and you win, not only will I roll again for someone else, I will give them everything that I was going to give and send you out the other stuff, because I have a couple extra. So, anyway, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The giveaways are always, they're interesting, People don't really know what to expect. They do a lot more work than a lot of the other people, just because it's less scary for me to do it that way rather than try and get people to put their name in here. So, but yeah, after 8 p.m., I'm giving everyone a week. I think there's 55 names already, and that's not including any of the members' names. And again, if Allison puts her name in, Allison's already a member. Well, she gets 2 spots, so she has 2 chances to win. All right? And then let's say a channel member does win because they have 2 and people are mad at me. They can just say, damn it, Larry. Not really my fault, right? No, all I want is, I want to see Headache 79. That's what I want to see. Because if you gave your real name, if your name's John Smith, and that's who won, and you say, hey, I'm John Smith. Well, how do I know you're John Smith? You're Headache 79. But everyone, so many people had a problem with the last one. And I'm like, they're like, I don't have a YouTube channel. I'm like, dude, you just posted. Everyone has a YouTube channel. Just some people don't utilize it as a channel like I do. Matthew Matson, my moderator, he does not utilize his YouTube channel as a channel. He uses it to watch stuff, but that is his channel. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't need your name other than if you do win. When will the history? Well, like I said, supposedly, I guess they're starting to ship. We'll see. Well, I'll tell you what. If I had a Hellcat, my trip would have been a lot shorter. It would take me a lot less time to get to and from where I was going. Although there probably been a few times that I got pulled over. I gotta say this: driving through Ohio on that turnpike to Jersey, I have never seen so many goddamn cops. There were 20 cops in 15 minutes. Like, there were 20 cops. I swear to God, it was crazy that there's that many, and it's on the turnpike. You can't get off. Like, you just can't get off. Anyway, let's see here. It's a magical place full of ramblings against happiness. Oh, I missed what Josh was. What's a YouTube channel? It's where you're supposed to have fun, but you don't always have fun. Some people like to have fun. Some people really don't. Anyway, and then the last thing, I'm just going to quickly mention this. Listen. A lot of people know that someone tried starting beef with me. I don't give a shit. But let me tell you something. I will say anyone's fucking name if it's relative to what I am talking about. So I will mention Bobby Valla, 3POA, Geek Dad Life, Oz, Giraffe, Mad Hatter, Hella Dope Toys. If what I'm talking about has something to do with the person or the channel, I will mention their name. If you got a fucking problem with it, that's on you. All right? We're just going to leave it at that. So anyway. Woo! All right. That was a lot of fun. Let's go through here. There's something about file cards that Matthew wanted me to talk about, but I shut down everything. So quickly, let me pull this up because I don't have the link up now. Let's see here. So Matthew sometimes posts stuff with file cards and stuff. And I believe, Matthew, you can kind of fill me in on this if I'm wrong, but I believe you were chatting with him somehow. And he said he watches the channel and everything. So, but we all complain about file cards, that we don't get file cards, and it's very disappointing. It absolutely sucks. Son of a bitch. Share screen. So there is a channel here. I'm sorry, a web page here, and he created a bunch of file cards that have to do with the classified figures. And as you can see, scrolling through here, they're specifically dealt with. They're specifically meant to deal with the actual classified figures, not just Scarlet or Destro or Cobra Commander. So you can see that, who they are here. You can even see Beachhead has his original Nerf gun. So, but according to what Matthew was saying, I guess he does watch the show. He does enjoy the show. And Matthew was like, hey, you know what? It'd be pretty cool if you gave him a shout out, because he was saying he does enjoy it. So, I just want to shout him out. Unfortunately, I don't know who he is, because I don't know. So if you're in here, give us a hi. Especially if you're someone that's been popping in. But Matthew, yeah. No, Matthew, I just hit the wrong thing. Henry Murray is his name. I know I've never seen a Henry Murray in the chat, so you might go by with a different name. He says, that's weird. All my Action Force figures come with combat profiles. Hey, listen. I have, you know what? This makes no sense to me, because they already have file cards made up for most of the figures. It'd be really that easy, but again, that's the difference between a corporation and a small company or a small privately owned company that he can make all his decisions, man. But I'm with you right there, Largo, man. Like, there is no reason why they can't just pull the file cards back. They're already theirs. They own the property to it. So now I know there's also another guy. I don't know who it is. And I've seen it going around on a lot of the YouTube channels, or not the YouTube channels, the Facebook groups, and he's created, using the classified figures, the combat files, like they did with the old books, the old comic books, where it gives the whole story, and he posed like Stalker in the same way. I need to find that one out, because I found that one really interesting too. So, and hey, look, my Ohio friends have shown up. Just heads up, if I have my way, I will let you know when to get the fuck out of that state when I decide that I'm going to nuke it. It won't be till I'm president of the United States. But believe me, it will be the first thing on my list. And Roman has joined. Thank you, Roman. I didn't even see you over there. I don't know what tablet or phone he has, but I know he doesn't have a phone, because I have not purchased a phone for him. No, and again, like, the biggest thing about the file cards, and this is huge, and this, if you watched my interview with Lenny, when he talked about the Cobra Island, roadblock, and when he told the backstory, I'm like, that is why we need file cards right there, man. Like, you explained why he looked like he does. He wasn't supposed to be heavy duty. You explain what he was wearing and why he looked that way. I'm like, that's what a file card was, man. Oh, well, you know what? OSU did a really good job of whining and crying till they finally suspended the coach so they could have a better chance. Hopefully, your coach doesn't get too punch drunk on the Just for Men that he's using on his hair. So, we are just talking about everything right now. My trip around the eastern seaboard, getting back here. But the answer is no, I would never, ever. People don't move to Ohio. They just end up in Ohio. And I think most people can agree with that. Yes, no, well, it is the Monday Night Ohio. Listen, I literally got into Ohio. I hadn't even made it to the service station. And my car sounded like it fucking blew up. Coincidence? I think not. I do have Elf behind me. And he's got a shotgun because he came to eat cats and chew bubble gum and what is it? Oh, kick ass and eat cats. And he's all out of eating cats. Gun just fits perfectly in his hand. All right. And that figure is one of the best figures I've ever had. That's one of the best figures. That thing is awesome. Black Knight says that's because it knew it was a Michigan car. Well, believe me, we all know in Michigan that you don't speed because they will pull you over because, well, I'm gonna be nice. If he could, he would. Roman, I've just watched you toss a groundhog 10 feet into the air. No shit. He tossed the groundhog 10 feet in the air. My kids and I all watched it. And then he barked at the groundhog as it died on the other side of the fence. Couldn't even let the groundhog die in peace. He barked at it till the thing finally fucking died. You know I'm in a mood. I've been swearing a lot, just coming right in. So anyway. All right. Enough bagging on Ohio. Enough with my rants of everything. Make sure my show sheet that we've done everything. Did all my shout outs. People coming in are 63 people. Hit that like button. Oh, also, I do believe right now it's 20% off all merchandise. I absolutely hate trying to find. Give me a second here. If I don't show for my own product, well, who's going to, right? Yeah, show up here really quick here. Oops. That's not what I wanted. I shut everything down so I wouldn't have any issues that I might just happen to have. You know how shit goes. Of course, I shut down all kinds of stuff. So, my store. Yeah, there's going to be, I'll show this really quick here. So remember, I do get a store, merchandise. I'm going to try and remember to put in the community tab every time that there is some sort of deals, free shipping, 20% off. Black Friday is coming. I thought that there was supposed to be stuff right now, but you'll start to see a whole bunch of sales. So if you are interested, it does help support the channel, yada, yada, yada. You know all that. So anyway, okay. Fun time's over. Let's see. The most Ohioans in Florida are on the West Coast. Oh, look at this. Alice and Troy. That's half a year for people who can't count. oh, you have issues, but one toy therapy session couldn't unpack. Listen, I have issues, but they are all under control. Uh, and here we have this is a quarter of a year, Alice. I can't always find these. Like on Geek Dad Live because I'm a channel member there. I can't always find that. I don't know why it doesn't pop up. Maybe I'm just too old to be on computers and shit like that. But yeah, kind of. I don't know how you guys always seem to find it, but I do love it, and I'm glad that people like. I like when you guys use stuff like that. It's just part of the membership package. For your 99 cents or $2.99. Anyway, let me see if I can find everything. We're going to present stuff so we can get into some news. Again, not a lot of news. And I really didn't care. I thought so little about YouTube this weekend. I tried watching Pain on Friday. I was exhausted. I passed out at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So I jumped in for a little bit. But what I was saying, 65 people here right now. Hit that like button. It helps out so much. It does tell the algorithm, hey, people are watching these shows. This is where you need to be. And now that it's 65, I'm going to mention again, I was watching Big Nerdy before I came on, and he was doing they're putting in what they're going to vote on. And Rookie of the Year, which technically I am a rookie when it comes to live streaming. I did it for just over a month in 2022. So 2023 is my first. And he did mention my name. So I'm assuming I will be on the ballot. And I'm not going to lie, I want to stuff the ballot. I want to rig it, make sure that at least it populates that. Give me at least top 3, right? It's not that hard to be top 3. Anyway. And Graf sent a 99-cent super sticker. Thank you very much. Much appreciated for sure. And Yojo Jerk showed up. Check him out. I've watched a few of his reviews. He kind of got me in the mood at times because he's kind of, well, I can be very animated, but he's very animated about stuff. So be sure you're in that mood, because sometimes if you're not in the mood for certain people and how they are, you feel like you get turned off when you probably shouldn't. So anyway, just want to say, Ryan says, how's it going? How was your business trip to Wixom? Is that close to you? Oh, I was trying to, yes, Wixom is 45 minutes to an hour away from me. So yes, very close to me, to be honest. I drive all day, so I have not. I haven't ordered any of the 4-inch figures from Hiya yet. There's so much stuff coming for classified, and they're just a different scale. And when they first started, we couldn't get them, so I was going to, and then I just kind of held back. But we're going to talk about it in a little bit, that's for sure, because I think it looks really good. I love the purple in the hair. I love the purple in the hair. So, all right, let's present. Stop screen. Okay. All right. So it's a lot of fun. All right. So Uncle Todd was at it again. No sooner did he drop these figures, he dropped different colorways of them. Now, these things are not in order because I didn't label them, and I didn't do a what's the best way to put it? I didn't do a slideshow for it because I didn't have the time. Anyway, quickly here. Aaron the Toy Enhancer, 199 super sticker. Thank you very much. Again, greatly appreciated. Heavy Metal Toy Box. Hey, Larry. Great show. I was like, hey, great show, Larry. I can't always read, but I can articulate sentences, unlike some people. Heavy Metal Toy Box. I don't believe I've ever seen you here, but I got to say thank you very much. I love when we're seeing new people said. It says, that's what I said, your channel name on his live for Rookie of the Year. All right, I was looking. I kind of came back and I heard it. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Again, I looked in the chat to see if anyone had said it after or had posted that. So thank you very much. Listen, I'm here to try and grow a captivated audience. I don't know why I said it like that. I've never talked like that in my entire life, especially not on here. So, but thank you very much. That means an absolute. That means everything, man. Like that means a lot. Like you guys going out and throwing out my name because I don't think he has any idea who the hell I am. And Heavy Metal Toy Box. Love the show, brother. Thank you very much. $5 super chat. Again, anyone that helps, that donates to the channel, whether it be buying a shirt or becoming a member, it means the world to me, dude. Like you guys, honestly, thank you very much. You said I've been watching for a while. First time catching you live. Yeah, you know what? Listen, you can't always catch the live streams. The one thing, and I know here I'm talking, I've tried to make it so people can click this on at their work or whatever, and they can just listen to me ramble. They don't really have to pay attention. I feel like I have just an appearance or just a vibe that people can listen to. Again, sometimes I don't know why, but I do say that a lot. So, no, I do not have a leisure suit. No, I do not. So. All right. So here we have Captain Carrot. Now, this is different than the other one. We will see the other one in a second. I actually think this one looks much better. Robo had pointed out the eyes, but just again, this is not a type of figure I really care too much about. But man, it looks very interesting. It looks awesome. I mean, it can just sit back there. It could be so many different things. But I believe this is a chase. I think that's what he was saying, that they were chases. But here he is. He's got his little stand. Again, a multitude of hands, but no weapon or anything like that. He's got his thumbs up. Everyone needs a thumbs up, right? I just kind of like this one because he's actually like holding the card. Like they actually did something to make it look like he's doing something, which I thought this was pretty good. Allison says, I prefer this one. It's in the original comic colors. Okay, see, I didn't know. Like I was listening to what like Robo was saying, but I couldn't tell. But then when I see the picture, like the card art here, I don't know why I'm pointing. You can't see what I'm pointing at. He doesn't have pupils in that artwork. So I wasn't sure like if that's how he was, that he didn't have pupils. But again, I think this one looks better. There's just something about it that really pops. And I could definitely see myself if this thing's sitting there for, $15, just like, you know what? This is actually a pretty cool figure. So he did a translucent green Green Lantern Batman. Now, why we all didn't say, hey, you know what's coming? Because for the love of God, like we should have known that he was going to be doing something like this. I mean, this screams everything that McFarlane does. So I gotta turn my fan on a little bit higher. But like, I don't know. Did anyone want this? I mean, again, you don't have to buy it, but it's so Todd. But here it is. I don't know what to say. Yes, Allison says, yeah, translucent green, Jokerized Green Lantern Batman. It's coming, man. Um, Thanos, I hope you're asking why are we getting this? Yeah, it's but as I keep saying about it, man, he keeps making these colors and his stuff does not stay on the shelves, man. It's always gone. You don't see a boatload of it at Ollie's or anything like that. So um yeah, I don't know. I yeah. Oh, Fatred, I wear pants. I wear pants. They're a little tight on me right now. Snot gobbler Batman. Oh man. Okay. So anyway, if you want a translucent Green Lantern eyes Batman, here you go. And this one, like I really don't get this one. Superman's face looks so damn weird. You know what? I'm a pants guy, man. I don't like shorts. I hardly ever wear shorts. But I don't like sleeping in pants. I'll tell you that much. All right, so I don't know. This is like a kryptonite infused Superman, which seems like an oxymoron. I don't know if Superman's supposed to be kryptonized, but his head looks really tiny. His head looks really tiny in green. I mean, the suit, the body is just, the buck is huge. And then you have Crypto here, who unfortunately is just a statue, but he does have a cloth cape. Like, but I don't get this. But hey, it's there if you want it. It kind of looks like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. That's the green and the nose and everything. So, but if you're like, hey, you know what I need? A kryptonite infused Crypto and Superman, it's there for you guys. So, again, these were all supposed to go into a slideshow that I never got around to doing it. Old Snake says Soups looks like he ate my ex-wife's cooking. Well, we never found out. Was Lois a good cook? You might be onto something right there. So anyway, out of order. So the wave with Wonder Woman that everyone has been waiting for. We have Owlman. We have Steel. He's not a ripoff of Iron Man. But he actually looks pretty good, I think. And then, is it Vampire Robin? I mean, is that what we're getting? Vampire Robin? No. Okay, so again, these are supposed to get mixed up. So this is what Crypto actually looks like. We actually didn't see Crypto last week. Because he wasn't done yet. Or they hadn't shown him. So, but Crypto's just a statue, unfortunately. All out of order. Hold on, let me find the right stuff. All right, we'll go back to Spawn in a second. So you have Owlman. Not a big fan of Owlman, but he does look pretty good, to be honest. He looks like an owl. So, I mean, leave it to DC to rip off their own character of Batman. But he was just John does, yeah. McFarlane does the same thing to Ollie's. He keeps them for free giveaways at conventions. Yes and no. There is a bunch of McFarlane stuff at Ollie's. There's actually a bunch of stuff at Ollie's right now. But yeah, but for the most part, not like Marvel Legends. That is for sure. It is not a Marvel Legends. Literally, that row is full of Marvel Legends. You know what you won't find is a Crimson Guard because everyone buys them all in bulk. But yeah, so here's Owlman. Here's Steel. Now, again, as stupid as I think Steel is, it doesn't help that Shaq played him in a movie. I do think this thing actually looks really good. And again, now I don't understand why he has steel muscles in his legs. I mean, you would think it'd just be a suit, right? But for the most part, I think this thing actually looks pretty good. And you get his sledgehammer. So he's kind of like the mix of Thor and Iron Man. Yet I'm sure both of them could kick his ass pretty easily. And then we have Vampire Robin. Now, is there some lore to Robin being a vampire? Because I am confused why he would be a vampire, yet he has a wooden stake. Wouldn't you think he wouldn't have a wooden stake if he's a vampire? But I did, I did notice that, and I thought, that seems kind of interesting because I don't know why he would be running around with a stake. I mean, you think vampires wouldn't want to be running around with holy water and garlic and wooden stakes? And then, of course, here's Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman does look decent. The face is okay. I always think like they probably could do a little bit better. We've seen McFarlane do some wonderful face sculpts. But yeah. There's Wonder Woman. She's got her lasso. She's got her sword. What's there something? She's got an axe. Now, I will say this. It looks like she has that butterfly cup joint. I really hope that these arms don't come out because we know that if arms come out of the sockets, it's it's QC issue. So hopefully these don't come out. I mean, they look like they probably do pop out, but hopefully they don't. All right. So now let's go back to the Spawn figure. So we have a new Spawn, big old wings. When I tap this figure, does it make any noise through the microphone? If it does, let me know and I will remove it and put it somewhere else. But this thing looks awesome. And it uses a very similar buck as the one that I have somewhere. She's got the big boot, but he's got a different head with his little angel wings. So this thing just looks awesome. Now, he does come with all these weapons and then these 3 little guys at the bottom. Now, mind you, if someone is looking at this and thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll pick up some of these weapons. I'll use them for my classified figures or my Action Force figures. These will not fit 6-inch figures. I have a pack of them. They don't come close to fitting in any of their hands. Now, they work wonderful for 7-inch figures. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of 7-inch figures. There's the McFarlane figures that are 7-inch, and then there's Crappy 7. And unfortunately, Crappy 7 can't really do anything because, well, they're just kind of trash, to be honest. Allison says, this is the best Wonder Woman McFarlane has done. I'm probably going to see use some acetone on the face paint and touch it up. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not it might be the best one that he's done. I just think that, again, it could always be a little bit better. Hey, it doesn't look bad like most of these Princess Leia's that have come out. They're so bad. Danny says, I don't know anything about DC, but in Marvel, if you stake the vampire that turned you, it makes you human again. Yeah, I don't know what their story is. Like, I don't even know if there is a story. It could just be Todd going, hey, if I do another face sculpt of Damian as Robin, then I can have vampires. And then Allison can add a vampired figures onto all his, onto everything. Who knows? But yeah, that is interesting. If I'm correct, isn't that how what's the Kiefer Sutherland vampire movie from The Lost Boys? Isn't that how that one goes too? That if you kill the host, then you revert back. DC vs. Vampires, a Vampire Nightwing turned Damien. Oh, okay. So it's there. And if anyone's going to know comics, it is JLS Comics. And if you haven't been checking out his stuff, oh man, I totally forgot to put your link to Ripper. I'm sure you've done Ripper before. I keep meaning to put everything now. So, all right. Anyway, you can get all these weapons with it. They do work well. They're very comic booky. Okay, all his weapons are very comic booky. So, like, you can look at this M4 that's up here, and you can see how it's drawn. It's drawn. I mean, how it's shaped. It's shaped like a comic book would be drawn. Kind of odd. So, but again, these figures they're big 7-inch scale figures. So, but I think it's a good looking figure. If you like, if you're into Spawn, there you go, man. So, and that back, I mean, again, Spawn artwork's always been amazing. All right. So let's remove that. Close this out here. And move on to the next thing. Now, I saw this. Now, I saw these on the Froosh this morning for the first time. I really know very little about them. By little, I mean absolutely nothing. But since we do discuss Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, and people seem to absolutely love them, myself included, I think they're wonderful. I really do think that it's a wonderful, wonderful figures. But combat creatures. Now, I know nothing about these. If you know something about them, please feel free to jump in, on the chat here and tell. But they are animal-like creatures. I think they look kind of chintzy. I don't get the same vibe as I do with the AWOC figures. And that's not a bad thing. It's just something different. It does look like they give you a good amount of accessories with it. A second head. You get a weapon, a couple weapons, a gun, looks like a laser gun, and a sword with this shark. And Robo said, who doesn't need more, or he said something like, we don't have enough humanized, sharks. And I thought, we don't need any. I don't go in their water and fuck with them. I don't need them on my land trying to eat me. So I'm okay with sharks not being there. But he is really sharked out. So here's a lion. A lot of armor. Hell, this one kind of looks like a Voltron for, in some ways here. Says that shark looks like a character from Cracodone from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. There were shark people in Star Wars. I don't remember that. Michigan does not have sharks. We are freshwater, pure fresh water. I'm trying to think if we have any. Our zoos don't. The zoo doesn't even have sharks. Yeah, I don't even think there's any in there. So Black Knight said they had the creator on Mega J's stream. When was this? Because Mega J is on an awful lot. And I think this is the first time that I'm seeing it. Mega J, he goes on at different hours, even when I'm up. Because he goes on late and he is way on the other side. So I miss a lot of stuff. Ooh, that is a nice call. Where was that? Fatrid says, looks like Samus. It does. Like, I fully see what you're saying. Now jumping back here, here's a wolf one. Now I believe we're getting a wolf in a walk, which I am perfectly fine with because I know we're getting the hyena, which that hyena was. Oh, I can't wait to get that hyena. I'm missing PowerCon because they had so many cool looking things. We have street sharks. We got like the shark dustbusters. And then there's this bear one. And I gotta say, like, the bear one and the mechanized helmet, I kept looking at it and it reminds me of the G.I. Joe Steel Core. I mean, I know it's not, but if you take a quick glance at it, it kind of has those colors and everything to it. So I just kind of see that weird steel core. Battle Beast vibes off this one. Yeah. Yeah, again, it's just kind of weird. Yeah. Come to Australia, no sharks here. Coming from Shark Eyes with Snake Eyes fighting a shark. What is the name of that sci-fi movie about the bulletproof shark that can walk on land? I don't know. Land shark? If Matthew doesn't know and Ed doesn't know, I'd be really surprised. But someone's got to know, right? Ryan says, I like the helmets. They're interesting. There's no doubt about that. Now, some people would probably nitpick and say, well, that helmet wouldn't really fit that head right there. It has to be way bigger. Well, I jumped the shark after that first live stream that I did. Now, if you guys don't know what jump the shark is, just look up Fonzie jumps the shark in his leather jacket. But anyway, I wanted to throw these in here just because, hey, we cover AWOC. It is a new line. It looks very interesting. I don't know what the lore is, what the story is, but I have no problem just promoting, other people, what they're doing. So it's just one of those things, man. Like, we should be trying to help other people out. So, all right. So next we have, I guess, a little bit of news. It's not too much, to be honest. Oh, damn it. Hold on. Let me do this again. Oh, I don't want the entire screen. That's why. Sorry, guys. This is me just chatting along to myself. Nope, not what I wanted. All right. I know this is exciting to watch, guys. Window. All right. Anyway, so this has popped up. I believe Hella Dope Toys has it. If Ted or Aaron are still in the in the chat, I don't really know too much about this. I was actually kind of shocked because I thought these had already shown up at Target, but Robo was saying how there just happens to be that he keeps getting the delay from Target, and now he just wants to see what happens. He just wants to see. But if you want these, I know BBTS and Entertainment Earth have them, but I believe Hella Dope Toys also does. So if you have them there, you can see get 10% off. Now, I often talk about how pins don't really bother me. Something like this, where the pin is red along this, the stripe that's gray, that looks awful. This is where pinless really should be, or at least make that pin gray. Like, why would you not have that pin the same color that's going through there? But those are the types of things that obviously drive people nuts. So, oops. Captain K says, I'm glad Target delayed my order. Got it cheaper on BBTS. Really? It's cheaper on BBTS? Or was it on sale? Was it one of their sales that they were having? So anyway, that's that. I just want to mention, again, I do believe that it is on, I believe Hello Dope Toys has it. So, yeah, it's kind of like the same concept. I mean, this is kind of what he was going for, that he just wants these street level thugs. But again, these kind of all look the exact same. So, well, again, if you, I believe it's on BBTS too, and you get, Hello Dope Toys, and you get 10% off if you use my code. So, all right. Next is something I know very little about. We discussed it before, because I'm just trying to fill 3 hours. You guys didn't realize I'm just trying to fill 3 hours today. There is actually some interesting stuff that I do want to discuss. All right, hold on here. I don't know why I have to keep doing this. It's actually absolutely driving me nuts. All right, we'll do this here. All right, so more Fraggle Rock. I don't really remember Fraggle Rock all that much, but we discussed it before, and I know a lot of people are really into this type of property. So here they are. Boss Fight Studio dropped the Fraggle Rock figures. I don't know what they were going for with this promotional shot. It looks like she's farting at him. And he's like, oh, God, that stinks so bad. But it's here. And I think Boss Fight actually makes some pretty decent figures. So I'm just kind of looking at all these here. All right. No, you guys are talking amongst each other. So anyway. So they're there. They got their little paint guns, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember much about them. She's twerking. Maybe. It looks like she's got an explosion coming that way. And see, I thought like these because I don't know about the two little ones. They're a 2-pack. But I like the fact that they give you a different facial expression with the eyes. I know other companies try and do it, but they fall short. Super 7 really falls short with their 5 different heads they give you, and the eyes like just slightly placed differently. If I want that, I'll just buy, 2 classified figures. Maybe the eyes will be off just a little bit. But she looks like she has her little maracas here, the magnifying glass. You got the crazy little eyes. It looks like she's singing into what I believe is supposed to be a necklace. Maybe someone can fill me in on this. They built bridges and towers that the Fraggles eat on. Really? Well, all dozers eat is mushrooms, so it's probably. You guys actually know Fraggle Rock, which I say scares me, but I mean, I do know the Smurfs. Here's one with, you know what I hate? Okay, there's a rant. You know, if you're going to make a skateboard for a toy, just find a modern skateboard. Go into a skate and go into a skate shop and go, hey, I'm making a toy. I just want to fabricate a toy skateboard that looks somewhat what they look like today. I guess if you're looking back in the 80s, but even the 80s, I don't think they look that bad. I believe they're around $35, $30 to $35. But one of the things is when it's a smaller company, you know, you kind of have to expect that you're going to be paying a little bit more. But for the most part, the boss fight quality is really good. I have a few of their things, and I thought, like their Sorzork Warriors, I thought they were done really well. It's their own property, so they were selling them for $30. But for the most part, they were really good quality. But you are going to pay more when it comes to, smaller companies like this. And they look really good. Like you don't see a lot of lines. Like you don't see a lot of the action figure lines, like around the elbows and everything. They do a really good job of hiding it. And I guess they must have all had crazy eyes. Here's a nice radish. And he looks like he has a hand that is holding some sort of card. So, yes, I did see that was one of his big announcements. I just don't really cover too much of Action Force anymore. But I did see that he, yes, that he's now going to be online Walmart. So I'm kind of going backwards because this is how they were. Oh, look, we're at the end. So Fraggle Rock, if you guys are interested, they're there. So go back. So I do. Okay, so these things. Why the heck? All right, so we got a little look at these last week, thanks to Cloud Network. She let me share some of her pictures. These were a couple better pictures that popped up. So you can see these unpainted figures, but then these popped up, and I gotta say, these look absolutely amazing. If they are built with the same quality as the AWOC figures, these things are going to knock it out of the park. I mentioned before, if you took an AWOC and you gave it to a 5-year-old, that 5-year-old is not coming back in, 5 minutes saying, I broke it. That figure is going to last. And this just looks absolutely sharp as hell. Now, again, these are just digital mock-ups, so we're just kind of seeing the beginning of them. But if it's anything like what AWOC has done, I'm going to be extremely excited to pick up these figures here. He's kind of a different angle. You can just kind of see the face and everything. And then here's the back of it. So this is the Bushido Samurai and Folklore. So I am just really, really what the hell is unless that kid is Damien from The Omen. Okay, where did The Omen come up? Where did Damien in The Omen come up? Because that is like the creepiest movie of all time. Like, I haven't watched it in so many years. I just remember that movie scares the shit out of me. And I don't even remember anything being that bad. It was just like, damn, that thing was. That movie was something else. But anyway, I didn't want to discuss these here. What are your guys' thoughts on these? Is this something that you'll jump on? I mean, this is, they might get Budo done before, before Classified even gets to it. So, but I just think these things look absolutely awesome. I would definitely be getting a couple of them. I don't know where I'm going to put stuff. I should probably sell some stuff. I should do an auction. I should do a live stream auction. But I'd be like, I should keep this here. And then I'd go through everything and realize I don't want to get rid of anything. So, all right. I own the Foosh Ninjas and the Samurai. The only thing I liked was the skeleton so far from the Foosh. I have a couple ninjas. They're decent, but I feel they are very fragile. I didn't like the fact that one of the ninjas I ordered had 2 left or 2 right feet, and the only way to contact him was to email him, and it basically said like I would have to pay to ship that back for them to fix their mistake. And I even talked to Veebs I mentioned it to Veebs at PowerCon. I was just kind of chit-chatting with him, and he was like, did you send it back and get it fixed? I was like, no, I would have to pay for it. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, well, I just hide it behind Supreme Cobra Commander's cape, so you can't see that he's got the wrong foot on. But yeah. Anyway, that's that is the Bushido. I'm really excited for that. It's just something. There's just really something I like about that. So. Next is a little bit of NECA. And we've already seen this, but oh my gosh. The pretty promo shots that they threw out there are amazing. Random jumps in. Bushido looks pretty cool to me. But I don't collect toys. I just do diorama, so I won't be buying it. I just added that for you. If you haven't checked out Random Diorama, he does amazing stuff. He does wonderful, nice, quiet live streams. And I think he's able to do that because he's able just to jump in here and he's able to jump in here and other live channels and be a major disruptor. But then he gets on his and he's all nice and mellow. Hello Dope Toys, sorry, we're here listening. We're hella doping. Go buy Tracksuit Mafia. You guys do have it, correct? I thought that I saw that. So if you can get it from Hella Dope Toys, go ahead, get it from Hella Dope Toys. Use my code, get 10% off. And then they think that, hey, you know what? Your people watching actually they're contacting us. They're using all that service. So anyway, let's get to Murphy. Poor Alex Murphy. Yeah, it is a pre-order, but you still are getting it. That was all right. So let's get to Alex Murphy. Actually, give me a second. I have to do something quickly. 1 second. All right. And I want to say good night to JLS. I'm going to hit you up real soon about Thursday with the friend, man, because definitely interested in chat with you. All right. So, seeing these pictures is one thing, but getting into their shots, it's something completely different. I give NECA all the credit in the world. They're not doing +4, not with the hand and the arm, the vest. So here we see poor Murphy. He's new on the job. He's got high aspirations. He's going to take on Detroit. He eventually does, but as a RoboCop. This here, I mean, this is in toy form. Them blowing his hand off. Now, you have to really come out with the guy that blows his hand off, right? Like, you can't give this part of the character and not give the guy that's actually doing it, right? You know that one's got to be coming. Here he is with his arm completely blown off. The hand thing is just so damn disgusting. But he's completely shut up. Not a really good bulletproof vest. You get, your Detroit police, OCP. I wish they would have made it seem more like Detroit, but here's the RoboCop Omnicore, right? That was Omnicore packaging. And then you get all your shots on the back, but just him blowing his hand off, it is just so damn disgusting. And again, they do a wonderful job, but I had to show this. It's been going around. I know we looked at it when they showed the solicitation, but when you get these shots, you're just like, man, NECA, you were not pulling any strings. You said, yeah, ours are not 4 and up. Tony, we'll give the man a hand. Oh, he wasn't new. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so yeah, like I said, you can't have him getting his hand blown off and not give the character that absolutely blows, that's doing it, right? I mean, you can't. You have to have that whole, that whole diorama, because there's going to be people that want to, set that up. So anyway, I just wanted to show that off. All right. As I said, there's not much news coming around. But we do have a little bit of G.I. Joe news. And a little bit of not yet, yes, G.I. Joe news. So last week, we discussed ramen toys. And their bridge layer. Well, these went up here. I know Beverly Hills Cop very well, but that actually took place in Detroit. They actually shot that here, and Inspector Todd was a real police officer. And then, I don't think it's a good one. All right. So, Ramen Toys showed off the bridge layer, but didn't realize that this thing is modular. And he pretty much made a Wolverine with, can use the bridge layer guns. Now, as we mentioned before, I feel like this guy is just waiting to get cease and desist. Maybe he just has that much money. He loves it. He has lawyers that can just fight this stuff, or he just says whatever. But, I mean, you can't look at that and not say that's not the Wolverine. But I do love the modularity to it. I wonder how much it's going to be. I wonder if the whole, if everything is going to come, or you're going to pick whichever one you want. So here's his Wolverine. And again, we saw the bridge layer. So here we see the bridge layer fully modded up. Now, what I will say about this, where he's definitely not going to have to worry, in my opinion, about getting sued for this one, other than maybe the two cannons on both sides, is this is how an actual bridge layer looks in the military for the most part. But again, he made it so you have two caps on it. It's covered up. It looks awesome. Again, I've seen some of his stuff up close, but we need to start seeing some stuff in hand. He must be, man. He, like I said, his lawyer's like, all right, man, here's my retainer. Here's my retainer, man. But again, we got to get some product out there, man. He seems like a really good guy, but, where's our product? And again, I don't have anything pre-ordered, but I'm also not seeing anything online with stuff coming through. No, you're right. It's a military vehicle. Good luck with this cease and desist. The only thing is, and let's go back here, is there a Wolverine style military vehicle? Now, sure, he can kind of get away with it and say, no, look at this. All I did was put something with 12 missiles on it. He changed the two cannons for the bridge layer, and I discussed this. They're not offset. If they were offset and looked just like it, yeah, he would be, yeah. That would be a huge issue. But here you can see it. But again, this is really how the bridge layers actually look. And he actually put a video up. Now, this here is transforming it into an Abrams A10 for the most part. It looks to me, it reminds me more of the old Army Men tank, where the back opened up and that's where you store your Army Men. But he also gave it, the front plates there. So he obviously changed it up. Now, he discussed this, and then he went and before and after, so he changed the turret on it to make it set differently. I'm not really sure what was different, but he's very smart if he's just making this modular. I mean, again, this is a lot of what, Hasbro did in the 80s with G.I. Joe and Transformers, and they would change it, and, they reused a lot of the parts. But, again, if you get to pick which one you want, or if you just get to say, hey, I want the package with everything and I can change it and everything. Oh, yes, the ramp. Yeah, he has a video to show you how it's actually going to work. And it's really awesome. I really think that it's awesome. And I got to say, what I do like about the Wolverine is that now it has guns on it, and it also has hatches, so you're actually protected from your missiles. Because everyone always said, when the Wolverine runs out of missiles, what do? Well, you turn away, you turn and run. Not to mention, she was completely exposed. I don't know why everyone loves the Wolverine so much. I don't get it. Like, it was never one of my favorite vehicles. I mean, I still have my original one, along with my original CoverGirl too. But yeah, it's just one of those, I don't know, it's one of those weird things. But people really seem to like it. But I like this design because now you have extra weapons on it. The figure, the people are actually protected. But he does have a short video on Facebook. It's like 9 seconds that it shows how this actually expands. And it's pretty cool. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's actually pretty cool. So, all right. But that's Ramen. I mean, I think this guy's always up for a cease and desist fight. I really do. Because it's not just this. He's always doing something that is really pushing the boundaries, and it's really good for collectors. But I don't know how good it is for him. But all right. So I'm going to take a quick a quick break here. Let's remove this here. I'm going to take a quick break. So you guys get a break from me for a second, but I got to run and do something really quick. So you guys can take a look and go order some stuff from Hella Dope Toys.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Mossman, what are you doing back here?
Oh, you see, so Skeletor, he had to go to the grocery store. He had to go buy more barbecue Pringle chips. And so he's put me in charge here for a little bit. In charge of y'all. He said, man, Mossman, I have to go to the grocery store, so I need to put you in charge of Snake Mountain. Mwahahahaha.
Yes, that's Skeletor. That's Skeletor. Right.
Skeletor said since I was in charge, I could use the credit card and maybe go online and buy some action figures for myself.
Oh, some action figures sound kind of nice.
Yes. Maybe we can go to Big Bad.
Yeah, Beastman, we don't say that around here. We go to HellDopeToys.com. They have the best prices in town, and they ship everything in one business day. One business day, Beastman. That means I buy it, and it comes to my house super fast, and they pack it all real nice. So when I go to do my YouTube reviews for my 5 subscribers, I'll be like, oh, look at this minty fresh packaged box that I got from HellDopeToys.com. So what are we waiting for, y'all? Let's go get that credit card and head on over to HelloDopeToys.com right now before they run out of all the good stuff.
All right, so that was it. I just need a break. I've never done that before. Because I'm doing this been up here for an hour and 42 minutes. I just need to not talk for a minute or so. So that is the first time that I have done that. Quickly, Nolan, you are absolutely wrong. Because he's already gotten the cease and desist from Hasbro when it came to his mask vehicle. He got the cease and desist against for the Maverick figure for the likeness of Tom Cruise. The way he's getting away with that is by giving it away if you were to buy up the whole 3-pack. But if you give something away, they can't really stop you. But no, he's not too far. He's not out of the realm of getting cease and desist. Attorneys don't care. Likenesses don't care. Brands like Hasbro, they don't care. They have the money. And to be honest, I watched him when he was on This Is When It Happens. He was in the chat on 3POA. See, I'm mentioning someone because it's pertinent to what I'm saying. And Bobby even said, like, in the chat, he goes, I'm not gonna lie, if somebody took my intellectual property, my IP, even if I wasn't using it, and they started selling something that was almost close, which again is very comical in general when he says that, but he's like, I would do the same thing. I can't say that I wouldn't do it. I remember him saying that, and I have to agree with that. Like, hey, this is someone else's property, so it's just one of those things. I mean, I think it's cool, and if he delivers it, or if he delivers on it, then it's awesome. But the question is, when is he going to deliver on it? Because that's the biggest thing that everyone is waiting on. Like I said, you can't keep taking money. And people have said he's not going to take any money for, did you say the bread van? Until the Charger comes out. And it sounds like he's getting closer, but you got to get a little bit more product out than what we've seen. And I even talked to Oz about it this weekend when I saw him. And Oz was on board with a lot of what I was saying. And we agreed. I'm like, when you get to know people, when you get to know more and more people in the industry, it becomes harder to criticize them and criticize the work that they're doing or lack thereof doing or whatever, because you're worried that you're going to insult them. They're not going to be friends with you. They're not going to give you the access that they once did. And again, I think if you're being honest about stuff and giving constructive criticism, I think it should be fine. It's just when you start personally attacking people, that's when, and I don't think you should do that anyway. Again, if you don't like someone, that's that. So anyway, Machine Man says you may not get a C&D when you copy a generic vehicle, but it gets attention and might set the tone when you do go for a licensed IP and get no mercy. Yeah, that was, I know that he had to change specific things on the mask vehicle that Hasbro told them, well, if you do this and do that, then, you can get away with it. Something like that. And again, I don't know the whole story. I remember him saying something like that. And again, that Maverick, I was all ready to order that Maverick figure. And then it got pulled down. And that's because Tom Cruise obviously saw it, or someone in Tom Cruise's camp saw it and said, no, you are not doing a likeness of us, calling it the Maverick. I mean, you're not even hiding it. They're not. Yeah. But yeah. And let's see here. Ray Pass says, that is also true. I want to see someone review the quality of the product before I buy anything from Roman Toys. Not hating on him. I like what it looks like, just worried about the quality. I'm with you 100%. Like, I saw the stuff at PowerCon and it looked really cool, and even getting a figure here or there, and I believe that's pretty much all that people have gotten, you've asked for a lot of money up front, and a lot of product has not been delivered. So it's just, it's just one of those things. And I in no way am I saying that I think he is looking to rip people off, but at the same time, you can, if you follow sports, you've seen athletes that you think are really good people, and you find out they're just shitbags. And I'm not saying that he is, but we again, it's our money. So again, we know Hasbro is a shitbag corporation, but no matter what, we are going to get our Hiss Tank. We're going to get our Dragonfly. So when you do back something like that, you're going to get it. Same with Mattel and Eternia and different things like that. So, no, I doubt I will be getting any of that. It's one of those things where, yeah, it usually does stuff where if you jump on it right away, you get it at a cheaper price. But how long has that? I mean, that Hell Charger, he pretty much started the moment he realized, that the Engine of Vengeance wasn't going to fund, he came out with it. And there's rumor that he's starting to ask if you want stickers applied, if you got the orange one, or if you want to apply them yourself. So, no, I doubt that I will be getting any. Unless it's something where I can pick it up at BBTS or something like that. But again, that stuff is, listen, G.I. Joe shit's already killing me with how much I'm spending on that. I can't keep going down other lines, especially vehicles. All right. So Haya did it again, and Haya is really just going down the original classified look and or the video game look. And a lot of these figures were designed by Lenny. Actually, I do believe all the figures have been designed by Lenny because he is the only designer on the Hasbro team for G.I. Joe. So they do have a distinct look. I don't know how. I mean, obviously Hasbro gives them the rights and says, all right, here you go. Here's the designs. But I know when I asked Lenny if they have any input in this, he said, nope, we don't have any input, with Super 7 or anything like that. They just kind of decide on their own, but he is seeing his own design. So they did drop the Baroness, and I have to say, I think it looks really good. Some of their faces that High has dropped with the G.I. Joe figures, if it's not a mass figure, don't look really good. But I think this one looks nice. And maybe it has to do with the glasses. Maybe it hides some of the facial features that you would think. But this is clearly the classified Baroness coming with the same weapon. So if you're like me or Bobby B and you're like, retire these fucking guns, well, now we can get them in 1/18 scale if you really want. But I think she looks really good. There's no doubt about that here. And the guns are actually hidden enough that I can't really tell what they are, but you'll see them, I believe, on the next slide. So they are that gun. Now, this, I don't believe this is the scale because that Uzi would be absolutely huge. And when you see her holding it, it doesn't look that big. That's what she said. But yeah, I just dropped this out of nowhere. And I think it's great for 1/18, the 1/18th collector. They are getting classified looking figures in a smaller scale. Now, these are 4.5, which kind of concerns me because the O-rings are 3.75. Then their 4-inch line is, 4-inch. Now, these are just a little bit bigger. Now, I don't have a problem mixing and matching the 4-inch figures and the 3.75, but if you do start to get bigger than that, they may start to just overpower them, just look over them. You cannot mix a 7-inch figure with a 6-inch figure, but you can get away with a figure that's 6.5 inches, unless if obviously the figure is supposed to be 7 inches, like Serpentor is absolutely huge. He makes Roadblock and Gung Ho look small. So, Ray says, I think they just enlarged the image for the weapons to show the detail. At least that's what it looks like. Yeah, I do, and you'll see when you see her holding the Uzi. The only reason why it doesn't, you think this at first, is because the Snake Eyes and the Storm Shadow swords are just absolutely huge. It's like every single one of these figures has a weapon that's just out of scale with them. So here she is, and again, I think she has a really nice soft look. Now, I don't think of the Baroness so much like this. This does kind of remind me of the movie Baroness from the first G.I. Joe movie. Say what you want about that movie. It was awful, but the Baroness was spot on. And she was smoking hot, especially in that outfit. I'm going to stop there. So you can see the Uzi here. It doesn't look that big. That's what she said. But it's hard to say because I believe the only shot with the Uzi. There might be another one where she's. Yeah, I think it's the only shot with it. But yeah, the figure looks good. There's, it's there for you, man. Now, I love the purple in the hair. Now, this is something that I know Chris on the Full Force has discussed numerous times, that having the purple, because I believe it's in the video game. I could be completely wrong, that she has tints of purple. And I love what they did here. Again, I don't think it's anything like earth-shattering, like no one else has ever done something like this. But they did, really, poke this out here and throw in this purple hair. And obviously you can see how it sits back. But if you're into, the 1/18 scale G.I. Joe figures, and obviously you've been upset that, hey, you know what, there's nothing coming out, and I'm not here to discuss. I don't even know why we're fighting over different scales. It's so stupid. There's no reason why one can't exist with the other. I also understand why Hasbro would say when G.I. Joe started, hey, we can't have both lines. This is what your budget is. They tried doing it. Now, G.I. Joe is the hottest seller at Hasbro for action figures. That's a whole nother story. Hasbro has a lot of other properties going that have nothing to do with adult action figures. But the adult action figures, G.I. Joe is just knocking out of the park. It's sure the hell ain't Star Wars. And we know it, it's not Marvel Legends anymore. G.I. Joe has just done, they've knocked it out of the park. So hopefully, they will bring it back in some form. But again, looking at this picture, it looks really good. But if you look at the Baroness, if you have the classified one, you're going to see it is the exact same design for the most part. All right. So a good looking figure. And if you like 4-inch figures, this is it right here, man. If you like 4 inches, you might just like me. Anyway. All right. Let's see. It is stupid to cry about scales, but that's what some people look for to have on their soapbox. I agree. I agree. If your issue with scales, is, hey, I have a huge problem that the DC multi-universe, whatever it is, from McFarlane is 7-inch, and all my Marvel Legends are 6-inch, and I would love to have it where they're in the same scale, I can understand why you have an issue with that. I don't care where G.I. Joe started or where G.I. Joe really made their name in the 80s. Times change. 6-inch is what, the 6-inch line, that is what people are looking for today. And but I don't know why. I've been thrown in that category, and it's like, dude, I have a whole room dedicated to the 1/18 scale G.I. Joe. If I really didn't like it, I would pack all that stuff up, store it, and turn that into my G.I. Joe room of classified figures. And then I wouldn't be complaining about not having that much space. And Aaron says, my wife loves the 4-inch scale. Hey, listen. It's not about the size. It's about how you make it work, right? I really don't get it, and I know Chad did a recent video about, how no one's talked about, you discuss how no one talked about the Transformers 2-pack. I did last week. I discussed it. The Triple T and everything. We discussed it last week about it. And, one thing that he had mentioned was that, the O-ring isn't really dead. Hey, everyone's wrong. The O-ring, I guess, isn't dead. But it's kind of, being pushed out through Transformers. They've never said that it's dead. And the narrative was changed by a lot of YouTubers that kept saying the O-ring and the 1/18 scale is dead. They never said that. Emily couldn't say it in a different way, and she couldn't say it any more clear. It's on hiatus. And there's reasons to that. And I mentioned them. It's budgetary. Again, billion dollar company, not a $1 billion brand, and you have a budget to work with. And if you have only one designer, well, you kind of got to go where the money goes, right? That's how businesses work. That's how corporations work. I can mention it 1,000 times. The Illiches own the Red Wings, Little Caesars, the Detroit Tigers, multiple other companies. One of them owns the casino, but you can't own a casino and a sports team, especially not baseball. You don't take from one and rob from the other. That's just how it is. But yeah, she said numerous times it's on hiatus. There are a bunch of YouTubers that kept saying the 1/18 scale is dead. Hasbro has killed it. That was never brought up. I talked to Lenny. I discussed this. 2.5 hours that you didn't see. and that was never brought up that it was dead. It was just always, hey, it's on hiatus. Like, we just can't do it right now. So I hate that narrative. I hate the narrative that people are saying that it's dead. That was never ever said. But because it had been gone for so long, I will mention this, and I said this numerous times. I fully believe when you look at that Transformers line, the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover, I believe that is being pushed out more on the Transformer side than the G.I. Joe side. And that's because if you go to Hasbro Pulse, when you look for it, you find it in the Transformer section before you find it in the G.I. Joe section. So I think it's being pushed out more from them than anything. And again, why we fight over it, I mean, other than 1/18 scale collectors being upset that there's not more G.I. Joe, either 3.75 or 4-inch figures, that I can understand why you'd be upset. But, I mean, you can collect both. You also don't have to. I mean, I don't know. Just my opinion. Ashton says, Andrew Joe was 12-inch for nearly 20 years and then came back as 12-inch for another 15. You're right on. And that's what bothers me about people saying that G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe is supposed to be, 4-inch and it's world building. That's not how G.I. Joe started. I mean, you can't pick and choose, what you want it to be and ignore other facts. Politicians and everyone, they do this shit all the time. They take a fact to use for their argument, but they ignore everything else because they know the lemmings that are following them are too stupid to look and go, oh, wait, hold on, wait a minute. Yes, you're right on that, but there's also these facts. And it happens all the time in every walk of life. I absolutely hate that. And it's happening again here in toys again, and it makes no sense. I will mention it again. Display model behavior. I hardly ever watch him. He just happened to be on Dan Who, another person I don't really watch, and they were on it and they were talking about these feuds, and this was like 6 months ago. And this display model behavior said, because it makes no sense with all these feuds. If you worked at a business and you walked by someone that collected Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you didn't collect that, you'd eventually make your way back and talk to that person because you now have this kinship. Even though you may not collect that, like you would be that would be like your best friend in the office because you also collect toys. But on the internet, well, fuck you, you collect Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a shitty fucking brand. I don't like it. And all of a sudden you got to be fighting about it. And it makes absolutely no sense. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at with everything. So, no, I'm not raging about anything. I'm not raging. I'm just discussing. I just get more animated when I discuss some things. Listen, again, there's different types of shows. There are some very monotone and boring shows. People like that. There's a lot of them like that. And that's fine, Good for them and people that watch them. I'm not saying I don't watch some of them. And then there's people like me that are extremely animated. Sometimes I get angry and I shoot off. There are other guys that are just funny as hell and they make me laugh. There's angry people that are just angry on their whole thing and people love it. So, all right. I'll take another drink. I need another commercial so I can hit that and sit back and relax for 2 minutes. Now I understand why radio hosts have all those breaks. I don't see any of them going 3 straight hours or more without taking a break. Yet here I am. And a lot of those radio hosts like Jim Rome and Dan Patrick are making a hell of a lot more money than I am doing this. So I'll probably make like, in all honesty, I'll make like $3 off a live stream. I sit here for like, for 3+ hours. YouTube will pay me around like $3. You don't make a lot off live streams. It's kind of comical. But I think it all has to do also with the back end. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Oh, I'm just trying to waste time because, as I mentioned, there wasn't much to talk about. All right, so I knew that I was going out of town. I needed just an easy topic. I didn't want to have to come back and do all kinds of different things. So I just want an easy topic. We're really going to need your guys' input because we got 55 minutes to go if we want to get to 3 hours. Again, I don't know why I feel I need to get 3 hours. No one else does other than Oz. And I know that around 11:45, 11:40, new people start showing up, and I'm like, I gotta go longer. Like the collector just shows up out of nowhere. We got Zoran the Barbarian showing up. And yeah, listen, I like having a discussion. Here's the biggest issue, and this is very true. We're kind of getting, again, I got lots of time. Here's the problem, and we found this out last week with people getting upset with me. It's hard sometimes to have a discussion because what happens is people think you're talking about them, and then they get butthurt over it. And for the most part, if I'm going to talk about someone, I will literally just say who I'm talking about. But I've also found out, and you also see it on Facebook all the time, if someone thinks it's about them, it's probably because they're actually doing that. They're actually, discussing, or they're actually thinking about, oh shit, you know what? He's probably talking about me. She's probably talking about me. Oh, that's definitely directed towards me. It's probably not, but the fact that you would think that should tell you that you're doing that, right? Fatrid said, we have not talked about logos yet. That's what we're getting to. So I actually even have it all set up here to go. No, okay, so this is actually kind of funny that you bring this up. I was actually talking to Tony about, he does all his customs, so when Hasbro releases it, normally he will remove his custom if the G.I. Joe, if the Hasbro one is close. I have almost all of my figures displayed because I have multiple different types of dioramas that are going on, or different action scenes that are going on. It's not all one big one. So I can have multiple roadblocks throughout it because I'm going to have different spots, multiple Destros and Cobra Commander and different things like that. So no, I don't do that. But that said, the Mezco Destro is the best Destro. And that's saying I really do like the Hasbro Destro. The classified one is a sharp, one of the best figures they did. And the fact that it was in the first wave says an awful lot. But no, I don't do that. Because like I said, I don't have just like one display where it's like I want one figure and I'm going to pick out whichever one's the best. I have different action sequences throughout my living room. I guess that. And smoke them if you got them. Nice to see you. It always makes me. I always feel weird saying smoke them. Like this type of like name is just weird when you're a straight edge. I'm here to let's get the party started. Nothing gets around my butt but toilet paper. Well, good. I mean, hey, listen, there's no reason to get butthurt over stuff. We're talking about toys, and very few of us are making a living of doing it. All right, most of us make pennies off of what we do for YouTube, right? Until you're Mr. Beast and those guys, you're not making the money. You make money off merchandise, sponsorships, which I don't have any sponsorships like that. That's where these guys make their money. I mean, the big YouTubers, yeah, Dan Larson, he does, but he also has his sponsorships. You see him eating that magic cereal or whatever it's called. Yeah, so it's but yeah. Zorn says, I have the room, but I'm a cheap European to buy more than one of each. What do you mean more than one of each? More than one of the same character, or just one of the same figure? Because obviously there's like two different Dukes, right? And soon to be a third Duke, not including the Mezco Duke, which looks nothing like Duke. Where is that? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I didn't start turning the ceiling fan on to high till I realized you guys couldn't hear it. But yes, what you're seeing in Cobra Commander is the ceiling fan going crazy. All right. So let's get into it. So I'm going to need your guys' help. Maybe we can pull some of these up that I don't get because I didn't have a lot. There are so many different toys lines. And my idea was just, hey, you know what? What's something easy? Let's just think of like the best toy logos that we've gotten. And I needed something easy. And I know Ed's going to be all over me. You didn't pick this. You didn't pick that. You didn't pick this. I know how Ed is. He's an old man. He's get off my lawn, man. So we'll start off with Fisher-Price Adventure People. So Ed he can't say shit right now. Not to mention, as I was saying, when I picked up this guy here, I really want a Fisher-Price Adventure People boat, the white and blue boat. Oh my God, I want the thing so bad. That thing was, God, I played with that so much, and it actually floated, and it had a wheel on the bottom, so you could actually roll it across the floor. That thing was so much fun. But I gotta get like a little sailboat, not a sailboat, a canoe or something, just some sort of fishing boat, and do some sort of weird display with my 1/18 scale figures because, yes, as you can see, I do still collect them, just not as much. Oh yeah, you can. That is right. You can see everything at the bottom. Yeah. Well, again, so we had Adventure People. I barely remember this one. Now, the only reason why I have this Animal Warriors of the Kingdom was because the other one was like a PDF, so it doesn't want to populate in pictures. I'm like, all I want to see is the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Again, there's not a lot of really good logos, but there are some that just stand out. I obviously want to throw in some of the newer ones that we've been seeing. Let's see. Gotta get one of those Cabela's or Bass Pro sets for that figure. Ooh. I would assume those are only sold at maybe those stores, Ed. But yes. Now I'm interested. Damn it. You guys act like I have a lot of money. So I threw this one in here. I don't think this one is really iconic yet, and who knows if it ever will be. It's hard to say anything will be iconic, going today because we never know what's going to change or anything like that. I threw in the California raisins. If you're our age, you guys all remember how popular the California raisins got. They pretty much only did, they just pretty much copied off the Smurfs with what they did there. So, but they were iconic. They had the skateboard one. Obviously, they had the singing ones. And we would actually steal them from the Hallmark. I almost got caught stealing the skateboard one. It was one of the last times I ever stole. But yeah, very iconic. The California raisins got way more popular than they deserved. Right? Would everyone agree? They were truly everywhere. So I didn't want to throw out the California raisins. The Care Bears, I believe I mentioned my fascination with the Care Bears. They were a lot of fun. I don't know. I absolutely loved them. Most of these logos are just text, believe it or not. Sorry, I hit mute when I coughed, and I think I've been talking for a while. Yeah, listen. Yes, I was muted. I'm sorry. I muted when I coughed. That's what I have a moderator for. He lets me know that I'm doing stupid ass shit. No. Okay. So no, California Raisins was not a great one. All right. And I did put best ones, but I just had to throw some stuff in there. I did it all today. All right. And I somehow went shopping, picked up my kids, got my dog, did a video, a review. So you're right. But the Care Bears, I told you guys, I love the Care Bears. Cosmic Legions. Now this is new, and again, if it continues to go on, it might become iconic. It kind of looks like I don't know why, but when I look at it, I see Ripper's little dumbass handgun that he comes with. Tony knows what I'm talking about. Ripper has a really, really dumb handgun. DC Multiverse, again, very boring. A lot of these are very boring. So this is the iconic G.I. Joe that most of us know, I believe. I don't think it's anything great other than in the 80s, you're looking at red, white, and blue. The Vietnam was still there. Most of us had family members that that served in Vietnam. So the G.I. Joe one is very iconic. I don't know if it's great. I think it's great just because it's G.I. Joe, but people absolutely hate they hate America now. So, but here's a few other things. You have this new G.I. Joe logo that they're using. I don't really like it. I associate it with the with the sorry, I've been talking for way too long. With the movie, so I'm not a big fan of the eagle. I think the Cobra logo is very iconic. That to me really stands out as one of the greatest ones that you can get. I gotta say, I did not put any I didn't put like Kenner or Hasbro or anything like that in here. Russia was red, white, and blue too. I said the same thing in mine. I call it the flea market gun knife. Hey, it looks awesome when it's in its holster. And that's where it's going to stay. That's where it's going to stay. Marvel Legends, again, very boring. You notice a lot of the newer stuff got very, very boring. Well, I can tell you Super Joe, absolutely not. Actually, there's none of these. Not Captain Action, but Eagle Force was the one I was trying to think of, and I couldn't think of it. Because I know that, yes, Fresh Monkey Fiction does Eagle Force. The Eagle Force that I think about is the little metal gold figures, and I just could not think of it. But also, I was doing it. Well, if Mr. Wonderful is here, he can tell you. I was doing it because he's like, Hexastack isn't on there. We're fighting. I'm like, did you not read what I said? This is like going to be the most unprepared stream that I've done. I think Mask is one of the best. It tells you everything that's going on there. This is iconic. You see it, you go, damn it, I love that. So, excuse me there. But yeah, Mask I absolutely loved. We'll look up some in a little. I think He-Man and the Master of the Universe is very iconic, and in a good way. When you see it, you know exactly what it is. And I was just talking to someone about this, and I never looked at Masters of the Universe. I never called it Masters of the Universe. I never called it Motu. It was just He-Man. Like, we played He-Man, right? And when you find out it's actually called Masters of the Universe, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. He-Man just obviously worked way better. Zoran says, Mask looks like a truck company logo. Should be called Mac. Yeah, I can see that. Especially with the truck there. Especially with the truck right there. You definitely get that right there. I think Mythic Legions is a really nice one. It's very iconic. And now it's been around for quite some time. And I don't think that it's going to be going anywhere. Oh, you know Motu, because you're the one that took over doing. I handed off the reins of doing Motu reviews to you because like 5 people watch them. The Plunderlings is just it's cute. We'll see how it goes. You'll see if this line lasts. I hope it does. Again, this thing is absolutely awesome. This Plunder Strong that I got. Cannot wait to open it up tomorrow and do my review. Now, I do my reviews. I get the figures in. I do it right away because not only because I want to get them out early, but because I want to open my toys and play with them, or just display them and do action shots with them. Here we have the Silverhawks. I was never a fan of the Silverhawks. It just never really did much for me. But it is a very neat logo, and you get the hawk face and everything like that. So, Johnny says, I misread that as Runderpungs. It's not even. It's not even late where you're at. How did you misread that? Wait a minute. Hold on. We got to go back. You misread it as that's a Runderpongs. Pungs. Well, here's the R and the okay. So here you have the R. Okay, UNGER. Okay. I guess I kind of see like you get the blurred of the R and P together. I've done that before. I love the Smurfs, but I can talk about Smurfs all day. Like if you gave me the 3 hour block of the Smurfs again on Saturday, I would sit down and I would watch it. They were so cool. They were so much like the Muppet Babies, and they were just creating their own universe, their own timeline, and different things like that. And I love the Smurfs, man. To me, that was like getting lost in your imagination. But again, it was one of those things when you went to the mall, you could almost always get a Smurf because they were like $1, and they were always sold. At least where I was, there was always these kiosks at some of the malls, and there'd always be numerous ones, and you were always scared to ask if you could get one right away because you might pick up one and then you walk and go to like 3 or 4 more kiosks, and then you find one that you're like, oh my God, I want this one. So Smurfs and Clown Arounds. I don't remember Clown Arounds, or I'm reading something wrong. In some ways I did, because I'm not as listen. I ain't even close to being as grumpy as I was once in my life. All right. Matter of fact, I see some people. Oh man, I was just watching someone on YouTube. I think it was on YouTube, and I was just like, "What a miserable way to live life." Just like, what a miserable way to live life, man. Like, when I was unhappy, I enjoyed being unhappy. I found it fun. But eventually you come to a point where it's like, it's just not fun. And I watch some of these people on YouTube, and you're just like, man, you're just miserable. What an awful way to live life. So, clown arounds were like Smurfs, but they were clowns. I don't remember that. We're going to look that up in a minute. All right. That just kind of sounds creepy, to be honest. Star Wars, I think, very iconic, but nothing special. But again, you can't mistake Star Wars. Here's your superpowers. This is so I don't have to listen to Tony whine and cry and bitch at me that I didn't throw this in there. But this is very iconic. Like when you saw this, like on the pegs, you knew exactly what you were getting. I didn't have a lot of superpowers because, let's be honest, G.I. Joe was better. But I think this is actually a really good one. And especially, again, it went, you give the stars, even though it's kind of purple, it still has that bluish look to it. You got your yellow and your red and your white, and it screamed superheroes. And then when you would see it on the cartoon or in the aisles of Toys R Us or wherever. Thundercats, I don't know how you're saying Silverhawks is better than Thundercats. Thundercats has a sword. It has a cat in it. It just looks awesome. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, so I had this bunch of Smurfs and Clown Arounds, and they battled each other like Joe and Cobra. All right, we got to look at Clown Arounds in a second. So, I didn't put Lego in. I really should have put Lego in. I didn't even think about that. I didn't put Hot Wheels, Legos, Matchbox. When you're trying to think of stuff, it doesn't come. Like when you're sitting down to do this type of stuff, it's like the shit just does not come. Uh, say what you want. I'm not a turtle fan. Um, but I think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a wonderful, wonderful logo. You've got the, you know, when you look at turtles, you can see that they're supposed to be like it's turtle parts, whether it be muscles or the shell or whatever it is. But yeah, it's. I think this is a marvelous logo, and I think this is one of the best. It's so iconic, and it's been used now for decades upon decades. Uh, but yeah, the word turtle is what's great. The rest is just telling you what it is. But again, like you see the turtle in it, so. Oops, that's kind of small. Which probably means that the Decepticon will be off. So now I threw this in because, like GI Joe, they've had multiple logos, but you do have the Autobots. Oh yeah, the Decepticon one is really big. I think these are great, but in all honesty, when I see Transformers, they give you that logo. When you look at Transformers, it has that robot look right in the name and how it's designed. And I think it's awesome. I think this is honestly one of the best logos that's out there. And again, here's the Decepticon one. I don't know why this one's so big, but the Autobot one is like tiny. That's actually all the logos that I have. So let's close all this out really quick here. And what I'm going to do is let's throw up a Google here. And let's look up some of these things. Ooh, I like this one. The Weekend Gamer. Hey, Punk, what are your thoughts on the muscles thing? I love the muscles. I thought the muscles was actually a really good. Like I said, I wish I had more time and I would think more. But yeah, hold on. Let me see here. That one's gonna be hard to find, or might be hard to find. Muscles toy logo. All right, so we'll stop this. Present, share screen. So here's your muscles logo. Again, super cool. I remember these. The muscles were awesome because you know what the muscles were? The muscles took the idea of army men who you only had like 7 to 9 different army men, right? And even the Germans, and yes, I'm saying the Germans because they were Germans. They had the German grenades, they had German submachine guns, different things like that. They still all had the same, they were doing the same thing. And as much as I loved Army Men, and I actually did try and look up Army Men logo, but I couldn't remember because they were so generic. But that's what muscles were, man. Like you smashed them around, but they were all different. So now, what was your clown thing again? I don't remember shit. So before someone says you said it like 10 times, and I said it like 10 times. What was your clown thing? Mego Clown Arounds. Or is it Meagle? You guys can also, what the hell? You guys can also see how slow I actually type. So, eagle, clown around. Oh, I didn't even know that. I mean, okay, so I remember these. And I actually had a couple, but I didn't think they were something like real. I thought they were just like one of those like cheap ass toys that you would get at, you know, Perry Drug, which is Rite Aid now, or Arbor Drugs, which is CVS now. I didn't realize they were like an actual thing. But now I know exactly what you're talking about. That you would have them fight the Smurfs. Please tell me the Smurfs kick their ass, because this kind of kills me. Um, um, those things are creepy, dude. They are really, really creepy. Let's do the Lego. Yes. Oops. You do the Lego logo. That's weird to spell out. Pretty boring. I gotta say this. Now we're on Lego here, man. Have you watched the Toys That Made Us? Man, the Lego story, that Lego one is so interesting because you don't think that a group of blocks is gonna be something good. But gotta say, man, Lego did some amazing things. When you watch that one episode of the Toys That Made Us. So I can't see that one is all that great. You go Hot Wheels. We all know the Hot Wheels. Again, what's kind of cool about the Hot Wheels here is that it is hot. It's on fire. I do think this is a really good one. And they seem to have kept it pretty classic throughout the years, as this one just happens to pull up, other than 68, where it will look different. But for the most part, and I like this, man. Right down to just getting everything down. Can't even think of what I'm trying to say. They get right to the point. They're Hot Wheels. Now, Matchbox, on the other hand, is about as boring as it can be. It kind of does remind me of a Matchbox, but very boring. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, Nolan, I'm with you, man. Hot Wheels is a very iconic logo, and someone just posted a video of Hot Wheel collectors going crazy, and some woman security guard trying to break it up. The absolute worst. Tycho R. Oh, you know what? So I would normally say something like that, random. How do you spell Tycho? I would normally say no. That's not. That's how you spell it. Because, but they had so many different type of um. Yeah, they had so many different types of affordable um uh different cars. Like you didn't have to have all high end. It was always funny if you had like the 40 or the $30 or $40 remote control. You'd always end up showing up over someplace like, I have a remote control car, and then like you're always next to someone that has like a $300 one, and they're laughing at you. What was Stompers? Remember Stompers logo? We talked about Stompers not too long ago. Nope. And there we go. Look at that. Stompers. Look at that. Everything. I didn't even remember this one. Just looking at it now. Everything is in the shape of their actual tires, man. That is awesome. The S, obviously the O, the P, and the R. I totally forgot about this right till I'm looking at it right now. But man, these things were awesome. I know we talked about Stompers, and man, they were so much fun. And I know I discussed, or I talked about the ones you used to get from McDonald's that actually didn't. They weren't motorized, but they floated. And again, I lived in condos, and the pool across was like this. It was like this U shape. Um, that scares me down south. I mean, you set me up. Like, things could go really bad if I pull up something that's wrong. But yeah, we used to have races, and we put them in the gutters, and we'd follow the gutter because there was nowhere for them to go, man. So I'm with you, Viper Scout. I think Hot Wheel collectors, they are some awful people. I'm sorry, not all of them, but all right. I am so please. Hustlers toy logo. Okay. You had me scared there. Okay, who remembers these? Because I don't remember these things at all. I know there's more than logos now. I don't remember these at all. Does anyone else? I mean, there's got to be other people. I know there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember. I think I was so hyper focused on G.I. Joe that I didn't really follow all that stuff. Yeah, well, I know you remember them. Glad you remember what you just told me to look up. What about key cars? Do you remember that? Key cars. Toy logo. I loved key cars. Gotta look up some images, right? They gotta show. Yeah, my set. How do you pronounce this? Why am I asking you guys? You guys can't tell. The police car. I had the police car. I loved it because it had the rubber bumper. Never had to worry about your parents getting pissed at you from smashing into something because it had the rubber bumper. You didn't have to worry about it chipping anything or nicking anything, leaving marks on it. Wow, penny racers. Now we're just talking old toys. I feel like we've done this before, but I'm okay with it. I remember penny cars, but for the life of me, I can't remember them. Yes. And you know what? So when I see this here, I always think of the little Transformers. And you'd always try and put a penny where the head went for Cliff Jumper or Bumblebee. But yeah. But it didn't work because the face stuck out. But that's what I always think of. Whenever I saw these, look at this. All right. Tell me that's not Cliff Jumper. All right. That is Cliff Jumper. The size, the rubber tires. So, Randall, I got to say this. So growing up, I never watched Voltron. It wasn't on where I was. And when I finally saw it, I always thought of it as like a ripoff. But I have to say that logo there is pretty damn sweet. Of course, I don't know why it's not enlarging. This is what happens when you use Edge and not. But that Voltron logo is pretty sweet. Like the colors on it, it's very vibrant. It's all over the place. But I always thought of, when I saw it, I always thought it was kind of a knockoff of Power Rangers. No, little did I realize that Power Rangers was the knockoff. So, and then I did actually remember some friends having Voltrons. So, no, Ray, it wasn't on. I don't remember it ever being on where I was at. And I didn't have cable for a long time. So I don't know, maybe if I was in school at the time when it was on, or maybe I was at church if it was on Sundays. Because I know that was my biggest beef with my dad about church, was it was on at the same time the Transformers was. And it really bothered me because I wanted to watch Transformers. I'm just trying to think of some other thing. Okay, so someone said Gem earlier. So let's look up Gem. Was Gem a toy? You're kidding me. Hold on. Well, it's not going to be easy to find Gem. But Gem wasn't a toy line. Gem was a cartoon, right? They didn't really have a line. Like My Little Pony had it, but I don't think any of us have collected My Little Pony. Maybe. Oh, I spelled it wrong. See, I ain't that bright. And it's late. But you can just go with I'm not that bright. Hold on. Gem wasn't a toy line. It was just a cartoon, right? I mean, they might have had some toys. Or they might have had 12-inch dolls. Allison will probably know better. So Allison says the cartoon lasted after the toy line ended. I don't remember. Like, again, I wasn't going through the girl toys, and I know people say there's no difference between girls' toys and boys' toys. It's all the same. But that's not true. There's no such thing as a girl aisle. That's bullshit. Listen, I can't. Listen, I'm looking over here. My comments are over here. My neck is already hurting. I spelled Gem right. They actually spelled Gem wrong. Am I correct, right? They actually spelled Gem wrong. I just can't remember. It was a doll line. Yes. Oh, I didn't even think about the GoBots. Now, you can say what you want. This is actually a pretty good logo. I mean, it screams knockoff, but they do a really good job making it a knockoff. I was actually looking up the GoBots. A video popped up on YouTube. You go down that rabbit hole, and I gotta say, man, if they did a GoBot movie, they could probably do it better than they've done the Transformers, because no one really, there's not a huge lore and backstory. I mean, yes, there was the cartoon, but I think people would kill. I've been talking about this for a little bit. I gotta get this off here. Let's remove this one. So I started watching a thing, and it's going through all the GoBots. And so Crasher was the other one. Coptor was the other one. Turbo. They're so generic. They're so damn generic. But and I'm looking at it, I'm like, you look at them, and you definitely have to I was thinking how they could do it. And I'm like, well, you have Leader One, who's a big jet, but maybe you could do a movie where like Psycho, who is a motorcycle, he would be much smaller, obviously, than Leader One. But maybe that's not a bad thing because they're robots. Maybe he has to use some sort of, maybe he uses Captor because he would be around his size, right? Maybe he uses him like he merges with him or whatever, so he's the same size. But I was like, that wouldn't be a bad idea. You could do something like that. The the story behind GoBots is so stupid. Like it is so stupid that no one would care. There wouldn't be people that are pissed off like when it comes to G.I. Joe and Transformers, where it's like you have all this history. Why are you trying to rewrite it rather than modernize it? Because that's what we want with some of this property, right? But you take the GoBots, people can't say, hey, you know what? That's just a knockoff. Like, yeah, no shit. We know it's a knockoff. Technically, it's not because GoBots were actually around before Transformers. Slightly before. I just think it's something that you could do. And I love the idea of having, Leader One who would be extremely big. Because I think now if you do Leader One, you would base him probably off of an F-22. Maybe an F-35. I mean, you could do other ones, but if you look at Leader One, he looks more like an F-22 than anything. And it was well before the F-22 was around. But then you have Psycho, who would be relatively small. He's, you could kind of enlarge him, when he expands, but he'd just be much smaller than Leader One. But you'd have them where they fight in different ways. And then you have Captor. You got to give them guns, though. I don't want them shooting energy blasts out of their hands. But I didn't realize how corny it was. Like they were going through all this stuff. I forgot that Crasher had a relationship, I believe, with Leader One at some point. So she always had a soft spot. Like it was so stupid. Was he an F-15? Hold on. I'm gonna look him up right now. Yeah, I guess. I mean, does he look like an F? Does he look like an F-15? I guess, yeah. But F-22s look better. That's the whole point. But yeah. It's I don't know. I see the GoBots and I'm like, this is something that you could really do. Another thing, actually Oz and I saw it, was Sergeant Rock, and I'm like, I would love to see like revitalize Sergeant Rock, because I had some of the Sergeant Rock figures, man. They were really cool for being 5 POA. But again, you didn't really think like that back then because they weren't just stiff arms. They had like kind of bent arms and they were kind of bulky because of what they were wearing. But they had I don't remember this at that Random Treasures. I actually meant to look at that. It was a display case and it folded out into like sandbags and everything. And I don't remember it, but I remember the sandbags because they always had multiple sandbags. Actually, Oz and I were talking about it. All the different sandbags and different colors. And he's like, you'd get those for like $1 or you'd find them. Someone would give them to you. So, does he have? I mean, I know he has DC, but that'd be really interesting. Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, you are right, Matthew. Their knees did bend. Since they tried to bring Sergeant Rock back so many times, and I'm talking about like movie form. Like I kind of switched over to the movie form. That's because that's what I was thinking with the GoBots. Something like that where it has a name recognition, but no one really cares too much about what the history was. Like no one cares what the history of the GoBots were. G.I. Joe, Transformers. Again, that's why something, if it actually happens and it's actually good, is Action Force. You know, you have these characters, and technically, yeah, there is a comic line and different things like that, but I don't think most people care too much about it. So there could be, there is a chance that if you had the right people, you could create a wonderful story arc for Action Force. But for G.I. Joe, you really have to. You don't have to. We've seen, Renegades and stuff be different, but, too many people are stuck to the lore. But to take a property that just didn't really have a huge backstory, He-Man, like you can't just like throw things together. People hate when they fuck up that. Like if they fucked up He-Man again, it drives them nuts. So anyway, I don't know. I tried to fill in 3 hours. I'm like 3 minutes away. Anyway. No, I did not say Action Horse. So an Action Horse line would be awesome. I want an Action Horse line where like their hoofs are actual hands, but when they make fists, they look like hoofs. So then when they stand up, they can hold weapons and they have trigger fingers. That would be awesome. And they talk like Mr. Ed. So you have a carrot that you shove up their ass, and that's how their mouths move. I did just say that on a live stream, huh? But listen, some streams are easier to get through 3 hours. There's a lot more going on. I wonder how much we're going to be getting, because again, we're going into Christmas. I feel like most of the stuff has already been announced. Allison says Action Horse is My Little Pony G.I. Joe crossover team. Yeah, but I want like the horses to like, they look like horses, but then they can stand up. And when their hooves are fists, and then when they open up, they have trigger fingers. And I don't want their legs to pop out of place, because that's a QC issue. They wouldn't be made like that. Got to get horse. Action Horse. Okay. All right, I'm gonna say something that's gonna upset some people, but I'm sorry. Yo Joe just became iconic, right? Autobots roll out. By the power of Grayskull, Thundercats ho. I'm sorry. It's time for action. It's awful. I can't. The moment I hear it, I'm like, I can't take this fucking serious, right? I just can't. I can't imagine anyone in the military going, we're going into Russia. It's time for action. I just can't say, like, I can't see that being a battle cry that, like, here come the Detroit Lions, man. we're gonna run through a wall for our guy, and he's like, it's time for action. And they're like, we run through a wall for this guy. Like, I'd be like, this motherfucker just say that? Like, sorry. Okay. That's I'm sorry. Every time I hear it, I laugh. I can't. Sorry. Anyway. Anyway, I hope everyone has had a wonderful time. I gave you 3 hours of my night. You guys gave me 3 hours of your night, which is actually more impressive. 49 of you still watching. Again, I love the fact that so many people have tuned in. You know, the show has grown. It continues to grow. I know I want to shoot for when we have 100 people watching. But listen, I know like there's a lot of guys that are semi-regulars that don't get to jump in here all the time and chat. You know, Monday's not the greatest time for everyone. Listen, Mr. Wonderful, everyone's seen better. Yeah, like Cobra, all right? Like it's I don't know. But I'm sorry. I love my action horse call to arms for action horse. Yeah, it's time for Punk. Yeah, we need an action horse line. And no, it has nothing to do with Action Force because I don't want anyone to think that. I just want an action force. I'm saying action horse line. Like I said, like they're when they make fists, they're hoofs. But as soon as they open them up, they got trigger fingers and they can stand up. And I hate that movie so much. I hate everything about that movie. God, I hate Cobra Law. And I know they're going to make it. Roman the Dog says, paw that like button. Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And hey, if you haven't watched the Ripper review, go watch it. I need to get as many views as possible. It helps the algorithm. Action horse. Someone do me an Action Horse logo, but don't make it parody of Action Force because I don't. It has nothing to do with that. I just think an Action Horse, and it can't be like a trans. I don't want it to transform, and I don't want it to be like a walk. You know, where like they're transforming. I want it to be like the horses when they stand up, like Robotech. You know, Robotech goes from that sweet looking plane, and then it goes into where like it can hold the arms out, but the legs are out, and then it grows into, you know, the big robot. I don't like that, but humanoid horses that are still horse-like horses. That should be my Kickstarter right there. Yeah, that's what I need. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys. 50 of you still watching. Thank you. Please hit that like button if you haven't. It's showing me there's only 49 likes. How do we only have 49 likes? We had like 70 people watching at one time, and there's 50 watching right now. And one of those likes are me. But technically, I guess I'm still watching. I don't know. Hold on, wait a minute. Danny says, cross the plains during the morning mist. It's time for Action Horse. Thank you. I so needed that. Like, Action Horse sounds like one of those movies in the back of the video store on top of the shelf. The ones they tried to have a plot. Yes! Yes. I'm sorry. Danny here. Where where's Danny? This God damn it, this thing keeps skipping. Across the plains during the morning mist, it's time for Action Horse. Thank you, Danny. There it is. There's the whole opening line of my Kickstarter line. Oh, randoms is saying 50. Okay, well, it's kind of weird because it obviously was updating at some point, but over here it's telling me 49. 55 is better. I enjoy that. Well, I haven't refreshed it. It's still going up. That's why I assumed it was going in real time on this one over here. So, but anyway, I'm gonna have to write down Action Horse because we're gonna have to discuss Action Horse more. What if we can will an Action Horse line into a Kickstarter? There'd be like 47 of us that would back it. Danny, thank you. Honestly, I loved it. But the thing is, Danny, when I read it, not only can you hear the song being sung, you can imagine that opening montage of these horses running that are talking at the same time. Yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I may have told Lenny, "Hey, I know what you did for Chris McLeod, and I don't want anything done for me. But if you happen to make a pit bull and you want to name him Roman, I'm all cool with it." Because let's be honest, how well would a new G.I. Joe action figure that has a pit bull that is brown and white named Roman, that would sell, right? At least with the 47 of us. So. Okay. Yes. Patrick, Action Horse's arch enemy is Ohio. They blow a hoof the moment they go into Ohio. So they have to find new ways to take it down. Oh man, I would too. I would. Mr. Wonderful, you must be looking at an Apple device that's broken. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys very much. There will be a bunch of reviews coming out. Again, this Friday, if you haven't yet, get on that video, put your name in. I'm going to start getting it all set up now. If you're a channel member, you will have your name automatically thrown in there. So here's Mr. Wonderful. As you can see, he's green, which means he's a channel member. If he puts his name in, he's going to get his name in twice. So he'll have twice the chances to win. And everyone, there's no one that is excluded if you live in Canada or the United States. So even if my moderator wants to get in and try and win, hey, you know what? He's got his chance. So I'm going to get out of here. Action Horse. He's got to get some sleep, do some reviews tomorrow. And I'm definitely looking forward to more Action Horse storyline. So, all right. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And everything, the super chats, super stickers that were donated. Thank you very much. You guys are the best. Take care.